All right, so good evening, everyone. Facebook, friends, community, clients. I trust everyone's had an amazing day. I have a very special guest with me, a good friend of mine, Mr. Paul Joseph. And I really want you to get an opportunity to hear what he is actually doing in the virtual world, in the virtual space. If you're a business owner, an entrepreneur, you definitely want to hear what he has to say. And you're going to find out whether or not quickly if his service is something that can actually help you scale and double or maybe 5 times or 10
Mm-hmm.
times your revenue in the next 3 to 5 years. So please help me to
Right.
welcome Mr. Paul Joseph from 24H Virtual. Paul, how are you?
I'm excellent, Gordon. How are you?
Good, 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 good. Now that Toronto is finally having a winning hockey season after getting beat up by by Calgary and Edmonton, like I'm
Right.
so jealous of what you have out there in Alberta.
Yeah, no, most definitely. We got 9 months, 10 months out of the year. That's winter. So I guess that extra added winter time, and people that grow up here, or even players that just have that extra season to play hockey, and so that
Yeah,
in
there's
essence gives you that they just get better over time.
I don't know to get that edge over time. And folks that are watching, the more you get to know my friend Paul Joseph, the more you're going to understand kind of what he said. But like in sports, you get a little bit better. And if you work
Hmm.
alongside with Paul or have him work alongside your company with 24H Virtual, you'll find how much more time that
Right.
you're going to have to be able to spend on the things that you truly want to spend time on and still be able to take care of business. Paul, could you do me a favor for the folks who are watching? Could you, in 30 or 60 seconds, share with us who you are and how you started? Like, how did you come to start 24H Virtual?
Sure, most definitely, Gordon. Essentially, we were in the process of creating a virtual or an online cleaning business, right? So we were supposed to be scaled across Canada, but during pandemic, we kind of shifted our mindset towards what could we essentially do, where we're able to create an environment where folks could work from home. So that's where the whole premise of this particular business started, just out of COVID's requirement, so to speak, for businesses where you know they're bound at home, and they needed somebody to answer phone calls for their businesses. And that's really the premise of how we started as a business, and we were able to scale just out of the necessity during their times.
Wow. Before that's amazing. So you pivoted and out of
Hmm.
necessity, you started 24H Virtual.
Correct.
And some of my friends and clients right now, they're actually lucky enough to be down at Scotiabank Arena watching the hockey game, watching the
Hmm.
Leafs and Tampa play right now. I can picture right now some of our clients sitting there watching the game, and their phones are not being answered right now. Right? Calls are
That's a
coming in, business is
that's
coming in, and they're not answering it. How
correct.
could you help someone like that?
So if you're an entrepreneur or even a business owner, so to speak, and you don't have a separate line and you're answering your phone call on your mobile device, if you are in a situation where you go into meetings or you go into these events, you could forward your phone number to a number that we provide you, and instead of those phone calls going to your voicemail, it'll come to us, and then we could answer those phone calls with a live agent, right? So they'll have the security of, or your clients have the security of knowing that what, somebody's going to answer my phone calls. It's not going to go to voicemail, and I know that somebody will return my phone call or address any situations or problems, so to speak, I have as a client or a customer I have at the moment. I know that these issues will get sorted out.
Wow. Patricia from Kingston says she's loving this service. Patricia, yeah, and I'm sure you have clients, Patricia, that could reach out to Paul. Amazing. Can you imagine all those night lights, 3D night lights you're selling right now, Patricia? Paul could be taking those orders for you,
Hmm. Yep, most
tracking the
definitely,
shipping for
most
you.
definitely. Yeah.
Yeah. Paul, you have posted something, and so I posted on here. I forgot exactly how I posted. Like you said something. You must have your business must have
After
a
hours
call
call
center,
support.
after hour call center. What do you mean by
Yes.
that? What do you mean by after hours?
After hours is, outside of your business hours, right? Your regular 9 to 5. Most businesses are handling, phone calls from 9 to 5, but your client never sleeps and the money never sleeps. Right. So why are you positioning yourself in a situation or in a closed box environment where you're predicating to your client and letting them know that you're only available between 9 and 5? So
Wow.
if the money never sleeps, why are you blocking that blessings, so to speak, to come your way after hours, right?
Wow.
Because literally, when you stop answering your phone call at 5 o'clock, you're literally blocking the flow of money coming towards your business
Hmm.
between the hours of 5 p.m. to 9 a.m., right? So
So
that's
let me see if I can understand this. So if my business shuts down at 5 o'clock
right.
and a customer calls us 6 o'clock,
Mm-hmm.
I'm turning business away.
Most definitely.
Wow.
Right. So, but that business you're turning away, it really depends on your business. What is the lifetime value for that client? If you're a
Right.
lawyer, that lifetime value could be tens of thousands of dollars. So you paying for a service similar to ours, I'm not necessarily saying our service, but some other similar services, at a cost of maybe $300 to $500, and that return on that client is $10,000 to $20,000. Are you profitable at that point? Right. So you got to think of the give and take for after hours, right?
Okay, so let me back up for a minute. See if I can understand what you just said. You mentioned about a 500 or $600, $500.
Mm-hmm.
So that $500 service can actually perhaps translate into an extra ten or $20,000 in business. What do you mean by that? What am I paying that $500? What is that? What I'm paying? You're saying?
Well, our business models is per minute usage, right? So
Okay,
depend we once you sign up with us, we will put you on a 7 day trial, and based on the
okay,
7 day trial, we'll extrapolate important data in terms of what your minute usage is for the week, and then we'll you know um, exponentiate for the entire month, and then we'll put you on a package, so to speak. Start your our minute plans start at 100 minutes all the way up to 10,000 minutes and plus, right? so
wow,
so most of our averages right now for clients are between the 500 minutes to 1,000 minutes. So the 500
500
minute
to a
plan,
thousand minutes.
correct, right?
That's a lot of
And
minutes,
it is.
isn't it?
It is, right?
Yeah.
But we also have clients. We I'll tell you about a client here shortly. We just did about 15,000 minutes last month for this one client. All right.
Okay.
So when you look at $15,000, I mean 15,000 minutes, at even like 90 cents to a dollar, that's about $10,000 for this one particular client.
Yes.
So now we're doing 24-hour coverage for this client. So in order to handle the call volume for 15,000, you need about 5 to 7 agents,
Okay.
right? For us.
Wow.
So if you were to put that into perspective, 5 to 7 agents, and if you were to really hire them as your own receptionist at your office, you're paying
Yeah.
them anywhere from $2,500 to $3,000 per agent. Right now, times
Right. I
that
was
by
going to say
five, now
that.
times that by seven, whatever, right? So you are literally saving for 15,000 minutes at least, I would say one third, right?
One
So the
third.
spend, one third to about, depending on volume, right? So the
Yeah.
saving is there, so
So let's say if I was I'm going to come back to your example for a minute. If I own a real estate company
hmm
and I had someone sitting there to answer the phones during off hours,
right.
after hours,
hmm
that 15,000 minutes that you talked about, I'm saving a third by having a virtual call center
Office,
that you're
right,
providing to answer
right.
the calls. That's
It, it
incredible.
may
Saving a third
it may
by,
be even more, right? It may be
wow.
depending on your volume, right? It may even be more because if you're a business that's low volume, And when
Yes.
you think about it from like five to $750 on a yearly spend, you're only spending about $6,000 to about $7,500 a year,
That's
right?
incredible.
So as opposed to hiring an actual in-house receptionist, you're
Yes.
you're spending about $40,000 to $60,000.
Okay, so
So it
talk to me about this client without saying any name or anything like that. This client that you have that just spent $10,000 a month.
Mhm.
I'm hoping you're getting him or her business, because that's a lot of money to be spending.
Right. So this client was our first client ever, and they've been with us for almost 2 years.
2 years,
Um,
okay, okay,
they started as an after-hours call support, after-hours and weekend call support. That's all they wanted at the time. So
okay,
now they've grown exponentially because they got picked up by an other national company. So now
yes,
they became a sister company to a bigger brand, right? So they brought on additional clients. They're in the transportation and logistics business. So just to give you some perspective,
okay.
and we do shipment tracking for them.
Shipment
And
tracking,
correct.
man,
So
it's
yeah, so we do
amazing.
shipment tracking for them. So they deliver final mile deliveries for Amazon, Walmart,
Okay,
uh, Canadian Tire, like pretty much all the big brand names and they're a national brand. So
so
they
you're
called
saying
us.
when I have an order, like sometimes I get an order,
Correct.
I buy something from Wayfair or somebody,
Hmm.
and the package isn't there, and I'm calling the tracking number. I'm thinking I'm talking to Amazon, but I'm actually
Right.
talking to one of your staff.
Yes, most definitely. Yeah, so that's really what's happening, right? So we do that on the back end. We don't let them know that we're a third party company. We answer the phone calls as we're answering phone calls for your business. We
Yes.
have our full back end set up. We have the full scripting set up. So when a call comes into our portal, it'll tell us where the call is coming in from, and then the script automatically populates for the agent, and then the agent follows up. They'll log into the backend software and do what's
Wow.
what's needed to track.
That's incredible. Paul, you can't see the comments right now, and I do want to thank Larry Daniels, who's here, Patricia, and sometimes it's hard to see who's actually on here while we're
Hmm.
online having a conversation. But Patricia just said, "Wow, Gordon, 3D light tracker." And so, if you did, for the folks who don't know what 3D light trackers are, Patricia Lynn Stokes is a member here at Landed for Success. And I've got
Right.
something on the bottom scrolling as well. So, shameless plug here, landedforsuccess.com/ uh, actually membership. Yeah, membership. Go
Membership.
there, find out about our membership, become a member of Landed for Success, see what all the benefits are.
Hmm.
Patricia is a member. One of her businesses, one of her things she does, Paul, is she helps. Um, she does a lot of stuff in helping uh, women's shelters, human
Right.
trafficking, and so on. So what
Right.
she's doing a fundraiser right now where your boys, they're twins. If
Hmm.
if you could give them a gift right now, and it's a lamp, a 3D lamp that you can turn on at night when they go to sleep, but it's got a
Mm.
picture of your boys, one on each side as a 3D lamp.
Right. Right.
That'd be kind of cool.
Yes. Yes.
Or whatever picture you want to burn on this 3D lamp. And that's what Patricia's doing right now. And she's
Okay.
been able to raise money this month for a women's shelter in Kingston. And so, whether she was joking about it or serious about it, she said 3D light tracker. So as they ship out their packages,
Right.
right, to families,
Right.
when tell me how somebody like your company would be able to help. Let's say somebody like Patricia with tracking.
Well, it's not just necessarily with tracking, right? We could also help her with the ordering, or even being able to be the front personnel, for the entire setup, because they could essentially um, market whatever they need to market, and when the call comes in, we could provide, uh, you know, very well versed scripting as to how the
Okay,
call would need to go, and then we could also arrange. Um, IVRs, like interactive voice response system, prior to the call, where a call comes in, and it'll have the automated message in, like, when you call a bank, press 1 for this, press 2 for that, press 3 for that. So we could also have
Right.
that set up prior to us answering the phone call, whereas they could have different routes for the call to be routed. So, if a call comes in and they want it to go to tracking, they could just press 3 and then the call will come to us. And then if they wanted to go to orders, then it'll go get routed into the other side of to us also, but the script will be different, right? Because the agent will get a script for ordering. And then if a client was to press the button for tracking, and then when the call gets routed to the tracking side of it, the agent will get a script for tracking. So we could differentiate different parts of the business when it comes to calls. So that's
That
the
is so
big
amazing.
right. So a lot of people don't understand what we're able to do, because lot of, like, one of the few of the pushbacks that we essentially received when we launched was, well, you're just an answering service. And that's also, when we had our initial conversation with you, Gordon, is like, you thought we
That's
were just
that's what I
yeah,
thought too.
you thought we are just, we're just, somebody's going to call in, we're just going to take your name and number and we're just going to forward it and then you call them back. No,
Right.
we're actually grown into a company where we're providing full back end support. We're learning software, third party softwares that the clients are using, and we're teaching it to our agents so that we're able to provide full on thorough back end support as well as call support for our clients.
That's amazing. And Paul, I'm not sure how to ask this question. If you could maybe explain it better, because you mentioned when you and I first had the conversation here in Land for Success,
Right.
one of my concerns was, oh, it's just another call center.
Hmm.
And and our calls, our members are going to be calling, and our authors or people are going to be calling about Land for Success, but they get lumped into one phone number, and whoever's answering has no clue how to even answer the phone,
Yes.
because you're
Right.
one person's answering the phone for like maybe five different companies.
Right.
That was my fear, and I learned that's actually not the case.
It isn't. Right now, we've grown. I think, we've grown to a position where we literally just hired on 7 more agents,
Right.
just because of this one client going 24 hours. So we needed to, absorb all those phone calls, right? Because this one client is, call volume is between 200 and 400 phone calls per day. So
Wow. Wow.
right, right. So you
Two to
could
four
you could
hundred.
just
Yeah.
yeah, and that's just one client, right? And we just kind of lucked out because they've been, they just because they added on additional customers on their back end, they just wanted to go full on 24-hour service with us, and they've been happy with how we were handling them. When we were part time, so to speak, we were just handling their after
Right.
hours. So they were impressed, and they just decided to go full 24 hours and pretty much just given us a full autonomy to be able to handle it. We handle all their phone
I,
calls. So now I had a conversation earlier with them. I'm just going off track here before I address your question.
yep.
Um, I just had a conversation earlier with them, and they were telling me their phone systems were archaic. One of the
Right.
issues they were having, they had old PBX systems, right? So one of the issues they were having is the call volumes are so substantial that even their phone systems are unable to handle it prior to all the calls being forwarded to us. So there's a lot more phone calls that are trying to come through, but they're being dropped. So
Mm.
what they wanted to do was, instead of going through that, we provided them a solution where we were going to give them a 1-800 number, and they were going to publish it and market it, and that phone number is going to be directly linked to us. So it's going to eliminate any calls going to, like, through them and coming to us, and this
Yes.
way all the phone calls will just come directly to us. So when they decided to do that, we went and got them a vanity phone number, right? So we went and found a 1-800 number that has their business name on it,
Cool.
right? So they were pretty impressed with that because it was the only one available. It was a 1833 number. It was the only one available.
Okay.
So we bought it, and now they're going to market that phone number, and then all the phone calls along with their partnering parent company. All those phone calls are going to come through us, and then we're going to direct those phone calls to whichever department that wants to handle those phone calls, right? To come back to your question, how we essentially handled these businesses is we group agents, right? So we don't just
Okay.
have one agent where they're handling about five to 10 businesses. We group agents between 5 and 6 agents. We train them on only a handful of campaigns. What I mean by campaigns is individual businesses, right?
Mm.
About 5 to 10, depending on call volume. If the call volume is substantial, the grouped agents will only handle about 2 to 3 clients. The reason we do that and the reason we differentiate ourselves from a regular call center where they use a round robin system. What a round robin system is, when a call comes in, it'll go to the next available agent,
Mm.
right? So the problem with the round robin system is you may have an agent that's never answered a phone call for this particular business in months.
Right. And they have no clue,
Right?
right? What's
You
going
have
on?
no clue, right? So now a call comes in, as you mentioned. Okay, what the heck am I going to do here? I don't even know what the process is, right? So now, to address that situation, we decided to group the agents where we train them on only a handful of businesses, as I mentioned, and those agents will handle the phone calls over and over again. One, it becomes muscle memory. Two, they become very very efficient. Three, over time, your call minutes will go down substantially, just because because the agents are becoming faster and faster and faster processing the same type of phone calls. Now they have created a system for themselves, because now once they create a system for themselves, they already know when a phone comes in, for example, Landed for Success. I know what to do. I know I need to go from A to Z, and these are the processes I need to do. When that grouping model isn't there, and you have a call coming in, and I never handled a call for a month or 2 months for the Lander for Success. When a call comes in, I'm not going to know what to do. I'm not going to know the process
Right.
from to
Right.
go from A to Z. And a phone
Yeah.
call that should have lasted only a minute 30 seconds, now it's lasting 5 minutes because I'm trying to figure out what to do.
Wow. So
Right? So that
you really train and educate your
right.
staff,
So
right?
yes.
That's pretty incredible. Wow. So, for anybody who's watching, folks, now or on the replay, it's my good friend Paul Joseph. He's one of the co-founders of 24H Virtual. Please go visit his website. It's scrolling on the bottom here, 24H virtual.com. And maybe if you let him know that Landed for Success sent you, that he may even have maybe a special offer for you, right?
We
If
have
you're Landed
always
for
had special
Success.
offers. We
Yeah.
always had special
Yeah.
offers for Lander for Success members, 10% off.
That's amazing. And it's
Right.
not the 10%, right? It's like
It's not.
taxes. When someone asks an accountant, how much does it cost me to have you do my taxes? And the
Mhm.
accountant will say, well, it's not how much it's going to cost. It's how much cost you. It's how much it's going to cost you not to have me
Right.
do your taxes. So what do you say about that? For people who are actually not using your service, they're losing money because you're actually making them money while they're away.
Leaving money on the table. They're leaving thousands of dollars on the table. Right.
Yeah.
I'll tell you why I say that. Because as a consumer myself, I'm going to put myself in a position as a consumer, or you even in a position as a consumer. When, as a consumer, you want something, right?
Yes.
When you're trying to look for a business, what are you essentially trying to do? You're trying to solve a problem,
Hmm.
right? You're trying to fix something. For example, your pipe broke, or you're trying to fix your appliance, or your wife is yelling at you to find somebody to cut the grass on a regular basis, right? And most of these conversations don't take place during the day. They take place, at dinner tables, right?
Right.
So as a man of the house, or even as a woman of the house, when you're trying to find these uh, solutions for these problems, you're trying to call somebody, and you're going to go to the person that's going to answer the phone call.
Right. Right.
Right. So if I'm calling a business after hours, I'm going to keep on calling, or even just, to clean my house. I'm going to keep on calling, and I'm going to dial and dial and dial and dial until somebody picks up the damn phone, So
Yeah. So
I
you
could
find
I
some.
could get
Yep.
this person, right. I don't want to leave a message. I personally, I
Yes.
never left a voicemail to a business I called after hours that never picked up, and that my business has never went to them.
Right.
And I'm sure you're the same way, and I'm sure most of the listeners who are listening to this are the same way. You are going to go to the next person that's going
Yeah.
to answer your phone call because you
Yes.
want your problem solved right now, and your
Yeah.
problem and if it's not solved, and you just that's just human nature, right? So you
Yeah.
don't
I
want to
mean, I
wait till
need to talk to
tomorrow,
somebody now.
right?
I was looking for a contractor last week. We're building a new kitchen,
Mm-hmm.
and first person I called, like you said, didn't answer. I didn't leave a message. Second person I called didn't answer. I didn't leave a message. The third person that I called, these are individuals that I already know. The third
Right.
person that answered got to come over here, and most likely they're going to be putting in a new kitchen for us. So I
So
don't like,
what is the cost of this? So let's talk about this. What is the
yeah,
cost of this?
right?
Right?
Fifty,
What is
hundred
an
thousand
average new
dollars
kitchen cost?
that
Well, there you go, right?
they could have, that they could have had as a contract. And sorry, right? I called you, but you didn't
Right.
answer. So that's what I love about your services, Paul. What I love about Land for Success is, and I'm not here, because I'm biased. I am biased, obviously, right?
Mm-hmm.
J. Jack Kent and myself, one of the co-founders here. Land for Success is such an amazing community where they can meet successful business owners like yourself. And I love what you're doing. I love, for example, what Jason Hunt is doing. I want to share the story and then maybe have you tie it all together with us, and we'll kind of wrap up from here. Jason's
Right.
at the Leafs game right now. And probably next week, we're going to be doing a session on how to help real estate agents, financial planners,
Mm-hmm.
dental offices,
Right.
like, business owners,
Mm-hmm.
landscapers, right, contractors, make money even when their phones are turned off after hours. So in the
Mm-hmm.
Land for Success community, we're actually, for members only, we're actually building, next year, we're going to have like a area where people can find our members. And so let's say Jason, so you know how I just love helping people build brand and ideas and
Right.
names. So we're
Right.
building a brand. He's got a great brand already, Merge Media. I mean, it's bigger than life. He's like a media mogul. Well,
Yeah.
on our Land for Success page is going to be called the Hunt Club,
Okay. Okay.
right? Since he's such
Right.
a master at generating leads online.
Mm-hmm.
Like he helped a landscaping company grow from 200,000 last year to 1.3 million in sales.
Right.
So if
Right.
you are a landscaper, why wouldn't you want to call, let's say, Jason, right?
Most
Right.
definitely.
So all those leads he's helping them generate. So why are you so if you're good at running ads and generating leads and making money, keep doing it, right? Keep doing it. But if you're not, I'm talking third party now, because I was terrible at it one time. I would lose money
Mm-hmm.
running ads. Why would I, instead of me hunting for clients, let Jason hunt for clients for me? And while Jason's generating all these leads online, like this landscape company I was just sharing with you, he was sharing with me during the pandemic. He said, Gordon, everybody wanted to stay home. That landscaping company had over 100 new leads a day.
Yeah.
How the heck do you answer 100 calls? So there
And
was
higher
money
cost.
being wasted, right?
Right.
So in that example, how do you, 200,000 to 1.3 million? Maybe it would have been 2 million if they had your services
Yeah.
combined.
Most definitely. Most definitely. And that could have been done with probably $1,000 a month.
Wow.
Going from 1.3 million to 2 million with $1,000 a month, right?
Yeah,
So
because you're
that's
only charging by the minute. So it's not like you have
correct.
somebody you're paying, staff you're paying by the hour. You're charging by the minute.
We charge our clients by the minute. That's right. So they only get charged for the calls that we handle for them. So there is no like a daily minimum or monthly minimum, right? So if we put you on a plan, then just base it off of that plan, and then any additional minutes will just be added onto your next month's bill.
Yeah. I don't need too much details. Can you maybe name off like 5 or 6 different types of industries,
Businesses.
businesses that
So
would be ideal client for you?
right. So one of our main clients, as I already said, is transportation logistics. Then we have home services.
Transportation, logistics. Okay.
Right. So the other one is home services. So we have a national client, which is a appliance repair company, and they're
Okay.
pretty much coast to coast from Vancouver to Montreal. Another one we have is a property management company. Another one is home inspection. We have lawyers, accountants. I'm just trying to. I'm just trying to think of different industries that we have. We have we have a bakery, so we take orders for a bakery. So restaurants or any of that nature, that's also possible. Um, we have a school who's also part of Lander for Success. So we handle, bookings for their school, online schooling, and all of that. We have an e-com shop, so any e-commerce with order processing, returns and all of that, we handle stuff like that. So yeah, it's the possibilities are very vast. Um, Anybody that needs a phone call answered, we can handle it. From just message taking to booking an appointment to a full on integration on their back end by learning their software that they're using, which obviously it's a longer process, right? The training takes a little bit longer, but
Yes.
most of those clients that want us to learn um, these softwares, they usually end up staying for a substantial time, right? Because our churn rate is very low. Within 2 years, we only lost one client.
Wow, that's
Yeah,
incredible.
our churn is really really low.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Well, Paul, thank you so much for taking the time to be here tonight. So again, for the folks who are watching, if you're watching the replay, please go visit 24hvirtual.com and book a discovery call with Paul. Find out how he can actually help you, right? Actually help you make more money, give you more time back. Between Jason and Paul, these guys are always joking like, how would you like to be on the golf course and be making more money? How would you like to be fishing and making more money? How would you like to be like driving your son or daughter to gymnastics or soccer or dance and be making more money? Paul, I wanted to, before we wrap up, I was just going to ask you, you're a member of Land for Success as well. And you're also an author in our upcoming book, Land for Success Volume 2, From Burnout to Victory.
Mm-hmm.
Would you mind sharing in 30, 60 seconds or less why did you decide? It's because it's so hard to share our story, right?
Mm-hmm.
Why did you decide to be an author in Land for Success?
Why did I decide to be an author, or why did I decide to be part of Land for Success?
Let's start with the authorship. Like
Okay.
Yeah.
The author aspect of it. So growing up, I was very ambitious, right? But I've had a rougher than normal childhood. So I've learned a lot of things when I was young. So I wanted to be able to pass on that knowledge, right? So even though this is only a beginning, I do have plans on writing more. So one of the things that compelled, I shouldn't even say compelled, encouraged me to write this book is I have a journal, right? In that journal, I've had it for about over 10 years, and I've written down the things that I want to achieve in life. And one of the things is becoming an author. One of the things is passing on my knowledge. And so it's funny how life presented itself through Landed for Success, because I wasn't even thinking about writing a novel like at the moment. And when that opportunity came, I was kind of reluctant, because even though I had wrote it down, I was still not in the mindset to be able to be like, okay, you know what, I'm gonna put all my thoughts on paper and try to write it. And you had, I know we had a few back and forth decisions, and then I was reluctant to complete what he had asked of me, and you were pretty much on me to finish it. So I think that was the motivation that I needed, that little push. I'm like, you know what, Paul, just sit down and write. Just sit down and write for 5 minutes, 10 minutes. And I ended up, literally, you asked for 1,000 words. I think I ended up in one sitting ended up writing close to 3,000 words.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
it's there's a lot that that I have learned over the years, that I want to get it out into the world, be able to help those that that may have had difficult childhood,
Yeah.
or even try to encourage those that may have taken a wrong path, to be able to bring them back into the correct path of entrepreneurship, business, and to be able to achieve certain goals in life, that they know that it's possible, or that's within them, or that's a burning fire that's within them that they want to bring out.
That's amazing. Well, I want to thank you for sharing your story, because I read your story, and I'm inspired, and I know there's going to be a lot of
Right.
individuals that will relate to your story, and maybe they'll find their landed for success story.
Hmm.
The challenge now is going to be where you're thinking, I don't know if I can even write from 1,000 words to 3,000 words. So our next step now is to
Right.
pare that down to the 1,000 words for the actual book. So that's the next
Right.
conversation we're going to work on. So that's the fun part. But yeah, and then you mentioned Landed for Success. Why did you become a member of Landed for Success, and would you recommend that to anybody who's thinking of becoming a
I
member?
Most definitely, right? So my life took a different route. For for any of you that do end up reading volume two, I'll even tell you here, I went on a different path of becoming a part of a motorcycle club, right? And when I say a motorcycle club, it's you guys already know what it is, Sons of Anarchy, so to speak, but in real life, right?
Yeah.
So when the desire to be an entrepreneur, the desire to be a business owner, was always there even before that, right? The only reason I joined it was I'm an only child, so to be able to surround myself with an individual or a band of brothers, right? But that burning desire to be an entrepreneur was always there. So in order for me to achieve that, my network was not going to allow me to do so. So I needed to put myself in a position with individuals that I could be motivated by, that I could change my thought process with, that I could or even to shift my paradigm, right? My mental paradigm. And when I started listening to you, when I started listening to Jay, and it had helped me, even one being Jay being Tamil. For most of you that don't know, I am Tamil. So Jay being Tamil, they helped me, because then it kind of showed me that somebody like myself can and will, possibilities to achieve greatness is there just because of who they're surrounded by, right? And that had inspired me to keep on coming back, keep on coming back, keep on coming back, even though there were times be like, what am I wasting my time? Those thought processes will always be there, right? So with that being said, guys, it's once you come in, you will be surrounded with individuals like Goran and Jay, who welcome you with open arms, right? And they're very humble in their craft. So you'll never be in a position where you feel compelled or out of place. So it's a place for everybody, so to speak, right? Anybody that wants to walk that entrepreneurial lifestyle, that want go into business, uh, that wants greatness in their life, and just start with Landed for Success. You won't be disappointed.
Wow. Well, thank you so much, Paul, and remind me to pay you for saying all that. Just, yeah, it's just amazing, right? That the people's lives we're helping and impacting, just like what you're doing with your
Hmm.
business, 24 H Virtual. So again, I want to thank the folks that are watching. Before you go, you know the drill. I usually have like 3 quick questions, just so
Sure.
folks can get to know you a little bit better here. What's put you on the spot? What's your favorite color?
Favorite color? Red.
Red hasn't changed, man. Every time I asked you, red. Okay. If you had, so I could add something different here. If you had a favorite ice cream or a favorite yogurt, what would be your favorite?
Black cherry.
I love black cherry. I feel like I could go and get some right now. Kawartha black cherry ice cream.
Black cherry.
Yeah. Paul, if you could do one thing right now, like if you could just kind of wave the magic wand and do one thing for Paul Joseph, not for somebody else, right? Like you're always thinking of how you can help somebody else. What can I do for my boys, my twins? What can I do for my family? What can I do for my
Right.
clients? If you could do one thing right now for Paul, what would you do?
Quit my job, because I don't know if
Quit
most
your
of you
job, eh?
know. Quit my job. I don't know if, like I said, I don't know if most of you know. I built this business while still being fully employed,
Yeah,
right? So that's one thing I would do, and I'm actually very close to doing that. Hopefully within the year.
well, that's
So.
amazing.
Mhm.
That's absolutely amazing. Well, once again, anyone, thank you so much for being here. You see the link down here, 24H Virtual. Please go visit Paul's website or book an appointment with him and have a conversation with him. Find out from him how can Paul help you become more efficient. How can he help you virtually build your business for you when your phone's turned off after hours. All right.
Yeah.
So until the next time, everyone, have an amazing evening.
Thank you, guys.